welcome back to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Eden, and this is my dad, Noah, and every week we sit on my bed and have a conversation about something I want to talk about. And this week, we're going to talk about our favorite TV shows to watch as a family and just to watch on our own.
Mm-hmm.
And also, last week was our 100th episode, so thank you to all the nice comments.
Yeah, it meant a lot. It was nice to see all that 100 episodes in, now 101, almost every single week for the past 2 years. What started during the pandemic has continued afterwards. And it's really nice. So it was nice to see all those comments, and thanks for the support. And you can also leave suggestions on Apple Podcasts in the comments and reviews.
For really anything, like for topics even.
Right,
and
exactly right.
Maybe we'll talk about yours.
Be a good idea to get topics.
Yeah.
All right, so TV shows. So TV shows now are so different, not just what is actually being produced, the amount of them, because there are just so many options for kids, but also how you watch TV. And we didn't have iPads as a kid, and you can watch it.
And now there
watch it on
are
your iPad.
more high-tech and bigger TVs.
Oh, sure. The TVs that we had when we were kids certainly would not work now. I mean, the first TV,
what TV
the first TV that I remember in Grandma and Grandpa's house was, well, we had one in the kitchen on the counter with it was almost like a breakfast bench, like a window bench also, and it was in the corner, and it was, I don't know, maybe like this big. There was no remote control. You had
Then how did you control it?
You had knobs on the TV because there were only, I don't know, 12 channels. That was it. There weren't that. Now there's thousands.
Was it ABC channel?
Yeah, NBC, ABC, CBS, PBS, and then some local channels, and then we had another TV. We did have another TV then. I don't know if it was around that same time upstairs that had a remote control, and I'm sure Grandma and Grandpa had one in their room. Yeah, but I don't really remember what that one looked like.
Mm-hmm.
But I never had a TV. I didn't have a TV in my room. I had a few friends that did, so I used to go there, and we would play video games in their room on the TV.
But now, Grandma and Grandpa do have a TV in their room.
So, before we talk about what we watch together, what do you like to watch?
Well, first, I have a lot of shows on Netflix, I'll say.
Okay,
because I have a list. So there are a lot of shows in there, and I just click what I want to watch, and then.
So what do you watch?
I like to watch a show that's called The Investigators, and it's like kids who are best friends, and they're investigators, so they're called The Investigators.
So what grade are they in? What kind of? I've never seen it. So
5th grade.
And what kind of things do they solve?
They solve mysteries. Like people just come to them and they solve mysteries, and they have like a detective agency, and their main goal is to solve mysteries, which they always do. And
are they always
all
mysteries?
Different types of mysteries.
Okay, so give me an example of one.
A missing fish.
From the school or from someone's home?
From someone's home.
Oh. A missing fish. Was it actually dead?
No.
Oh.
It wasn't dead.
Did they find it?
Yeah.
Do they always find it?
Yeah, it was in the bathtub.
Hey.
Because one person had to change the water, but I forget what happened, really. But then they just put it in the bathtub, and they filled it up, and it was like swimming in there. It was a goldfish.
All right, what else?
It's weird.
Investigators, what else?
Think. It's hard because I love so many shows. Let me think, but let's go to cooking shows now, and I'll keep thinking of shows I like. Well, we love cooking shows.
Oh, what we watch together?
Yeah, we love cooking shows.
Right, so you really like the Kids Baking Challenge, Spring Baking Challenge, all the
Holiday Baking Challenge,
Halloween Baking Challenge, all those.
Like the Duff Show.
Right, Buddy versus Duff. Duff takes the Cake, Ace of Cakes,
Ace of Tastes.
Great British Baking.
Ace of Tastes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Great British Baking. We started during the pandemic.
A lot of.
What do you like so much about cooking shows?
Well, I like to cook.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, competition cooking.
Okay.
I'll say. It's just fun to watch them, and like you never know what the challenge is, and like maybe there's like a twist or something, and it's always just fun to watch to see who wins and like what and the challenges are fun and what they bake.
Yeah. So what is most impressive, do you think, about these chefs?
How so? Because Great British Baking is so different than Kids Baking.
Okay, so spring baking.
What I love about spring baking.
What's so impressive about those chefs?
It's so impressive that actually this can relate with all of them. That they just know how all these flavors taste and how to incorporate them into cakes.
I agree.
And desserts, like how you would incorporate like blue cheese into cakes and desserts.
Yeah, right. I agree.
Like the cupcakes.
That they get a challenge and then all of a sudden it's, oh yeah, I got an idea. We can do it.
Yeah.
And this works together, or the twist, and then they figure out how to make that work.
I just don't know how they would think of it so fast.
They're an expert. So just like if you're an expert in anything else, because they would think that way about someone who maybe was a mechanic and they got a car that needed an engine fix, and the person would look at it and say, "Yeah, I know what to do."
Yeah.
But maybe that person, maybe the chef wouldn't. Great British Baking, I think, is so fascinating because these are home bakers. This is not their job, and yet
Are all of them?
yeah, they're all home bakers. Yeah, so it's not their job, and yet they can produce these masterpieces.
Right.
It's a hobby, and that they're that good at it.
And I think it's nice in Great British Baking that they just award all of them with flowers, but then also just a cake plate.
Oh, at the end.
Yeah.
Right. It's not money. It's prestigious, and they just get that cake plate at the end.
Mm-hmm. That says Great British Baking, and they get flowers.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so sometimes we watch Jeopardy.
Oh, that's so nice.
Sometimes Wheel of Fortune.
I think there
Innovation Nation.
On Jeopardy, there was a new 20-day champion.
Yeah, we only watch some of her. We watch a lot of Amy
Yes.
and Matt. But what about Innovation Nation is a great show. Mo Rocca, CBS. I think Saturday mornings. It's all about these great innovations and inventions.
Yeah, and like ones that like, if I told you, you wouldn't think of them. Like, oh yeah, I know exactly what that is. Like if I told you a bunch of them, you wouldn't know exactly what that is right away.
And then we saw. Do you remember when we saw that that bird feeder with the camera?
Uh-huh.
And then it was in the Week Junior.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I asked Mom, was this thing on? I said, read this. Was this thing on the Innovation Nation? I thought so.
Yeah, and they shoot it at the Henry Ford Museum
Yeah,
too.
and I'll tell you about the bird camera feeder. So you have this feeder, and you put bird food in it, and when the bird starts eating it, it'll take a picture, and then you have an app, and it'll tell you what bird it is, and maybe if it's like they sometimes don't know because it's like a rare bird, but they'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's neat. And then sports. So we'll watch games together.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what I did mostly as a kid.
Yeah.
So.
And I'm so excited for tonight. Because it's Sunday, so it's Game 7 of 2 basketball games.
Mm-hmm. As we record this on Sunday morning.
Yes.
We got Bucks Celtics in the afternoon, Suns Mavs at night. You won't be up for Suns Mavs, but I'll let you know in the morning. But
Can you also, will I be up for Bucks Celtics?
yeah, it's at 3:30. So we can watch. So we'll watch highlights. So in the morning, as a kid, I used to always watch SportsCenter highlights all the time, and SportsCenter was different when I was a kid than it is now. Now it's a lot of talking back and forth, analyzing. When I was a kid, it was just all highlights. You felt like you were caught up on the game. But now you can go online and watch different highlights, which we do for the NBA.
Yeah, we have the NBA app, and you can just watch, and you can read articles. You can watch highlights.
Mm-hmm. So, as a kid, I used to watch really just sports. I was never really into cartoons. My favorite show was NBA Inside Stuff, which started when I was, which you would love. Started when I was 8, And
What does that mean?
NBA Inside Stuff
Yeah.
was a show that went behind the scenes with NBA players. So I think I've showed you some Dikembe Mutombo clips.
No, you
Remember the
haven't
one when he
watched.
was in the shower?
Oh, yeah, that's so
or when he
funny.
walked in the hotel room and he was on all his clothes and he was in the shower and then he was bowling. That was NBA Inside Stuff. So behind the scenes of the NBA teams and
Is
the
that-
players.
Is that the person that had like a nerdy part?
So Ahmad Rashad was a former football player,
Mhm.
and then he was an NBC host and reporter, and he started hosting the show with Julie Moran for about a season or two, then Willow Bay, and that's what I used to watch Saturday mornings. That and wrestling. I used to watch that on Saturday mornings when I was a kid.
What,
And
did you
then
watch that?
it was entertainment.
We never watched that.
No, it's all different now. And so what else? And then at night we would watch
I
remember
know you would
watching,
watch
like,
the Friday night.
the Friday night show, so
Yeah.
TGIF on ABC. So that was, I think it was Perfect Strangers.
Why would it
and
be called TGIF?
Thank God it's Friday.
Right,
Or
but
thank
why
goodness
would
it's
it be
Friday.
called that?
No, just because then everyone got together and you didn't have anything, school the next day or work the next day. So remember watching, it was Perfect Strangers and Family Matters and Full House and Step by Step and then Boy Meets World. That was on, it's at different points on Friday night. I also remember we used to watch Fresh Prince. But there were some shows that we would watch all together, but then a lot of games. So I would watch just a lot of sporting events with Grandpa.
Yeah. But then, would you play like video games? Like I don't.
Yes, we had.
I don't use
We had a Nintendo, and Grandma and Grandpa. Well, I remember having an Atari. I don't really remember playing that. And then we had a Nintendo. Grandma and Grandpa said, "If you can get the Nintendo yourself, we're not gonna buy it for you, but you can figure it out." So I sold the most raffle tickets from our little league, and the reward was, I think it was a $300 gift certificate to Kitty City, which is a toy store. Remember we were just talking the other day about how there are no big toy stores anymore, except FAO Schwartz. So I got Nintendo there. So I used to play Nintendo. There were always limits on how long I could play on Nintendo, and we had a computer, so I used to play some computer
But
games.
I don't have like a Nintendo or like those things.
A video
like
game
gaming
system,
stuff.
right.
But I have like other just games on the iPad that I play.
Yeah. So
And I read on the iPad, and reading takes up a lot of time, just books in general.
yeah, do a lot of reading. Do a whole lot more reading than I did. Yeah. So all right. So let's wrap this up. Back to what you watch on your own. You said Investigators. I don't know what else is on your list. I know
I watched the Big Flower Fight, which I finished with, and there's challenges, and they have to create it with just flowers, and they have chicken wire, and they have lots of stuff.
Mhm.
And then they create a sculpture, and then they put flowers all in it, and it's beautiful, basically.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you still watch Barbie shows? Sometimes.
I finished all.
You finished those, okay. Inspector Gadget.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I'm not
So
finished.
that was a show that was on when we were kids.
So
that
funny.
was a show that I watched when I was little.
It's so funny. Inspector Gadget is like weird.
Right, it's Julie who is with him, his friend Julie.
No.
Is that it?
It's Penny
Penny, right. And then they have a dog,
Brain.
Brain. Yeah, I remember Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget's
How about-
weird
how
and
about-
always chases Brain.
Waffles and Mochi?
Oh yeah, that's a cooking show.
Okay.
So it's like they learn about different things, like different foods. Like in one episode, they might learn about corn or like salt or water.
Oh, and
And mushrooms.
and how those work within cooking.
Basically, and they just learn about what it is, really. Or like potatoes. There are things that exist that are purple inside. Potatoes are purple. It's true. It's like purple and white. That's a potato. I learned that.
So you feel like you feel like, oh wait, I was gonna say you learn a lot. We were talking about books from the Who Was series, but then there's the Who Was show.
Yes, there's the Who Was show and there's the Who Was podcast.
Have you been listening to that?
Not in a little bit.
Yeah.
But
But it's different than the show, the podcast.
yeah, because the podcast is like a game show. And then the show is like educational show basically. And the podcast is educational, but More game show.
Yeah, and then as you get older, I remember I've seen some commercials for different shows, and I think like, yeah, it'd be good for you when you get older, just because there are just some things that I feel like we should watch together, or you should learn from us, and you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So that, well, and also we've already done a podcast about watching the news every morning, so pick up a lot of stuff there too. Local news, Today Show.
News, Today Show.
Yeah.
Lots of news.
Right. Yeah. All right. I love you.
Love you.